Yo, peep these patch notes.
First and foremost, before I jump into, or we jump into the investigation that's going on with the hack that happened, I want to say that right now, through October 20th, is a great time to buy a PS5, minus this kind of little smirk. But you can pick up actually a free game. It's not any free game. There's a list of them. It's like God of War Ragnarok, Horizon
it's a lot
Forbidden
of
It's
their
their
first
West.
parties,
first
isn't it?
titles.
It's a
right?
lot of their
Yeah,
first parties.
Yeah.
titles. Yeah.
Yep.
I would hit that with a heavy caveat that if you plan on getting any of the PlayStation Plus memberships, once you get your PS5, look to see which of these games are available on that, because I think probably about half of them are available on PlayStation Plus. So there's no reason to double dip yourself if you already planned on getting PlayStation Plus. So just be aware of that. Also, this kind of reeks of desperation a little bit. So
Yeah. Well, it's either way. I still think it's a good
benefit
deal.
from it, but
yeah.
it's
Right.
still a little bit a weird thing to do.
But it is a digital game, by the way. It's not you will not get a physical copy unless the place that you get it from is going to honor a physical copy, what I don't
Which they won't.
believe they will. So
No.
but I missed all that, and that was announced prior to this, and then I was actually like, oh, you know what? Maybe I will dip into the Sony world, because I was kind of like, nah, I don't know. And this kind of staved me off a little bit. I was like, you know, I'm still probably gonna wait. But unfortunately, which coincidental, like, is it not? How ironic is it that we talked about the fucking hack last week that happened to Sony years ago, and then
And then
this
it happens.
and then
Yeah.
this happens.
Yeah.
So if you're unfamiliar with what we're kind of talking about, basically,
There's no correlation by the pre-patch podcast.
Yeah, we didn't
Just want to state.
we didn't
Allegedly.
do that. Yeah, allegedly. Basically, I think Cybersecurity Connect actually was the one that broke the story on this.
Yeah, they were.
And they were the ones that basically said that a ransomware group calling itself ransomed.vc claimed that it had broken and breached Sony's group and threatened to sell all the stolen data. Everybody kind of took it as like, I don't know, maybe it's a rumor. But in fact, it was true. Or no, I guess it is claimed that it is true. Correct? Have they come out?
Sony
It's
is
still,
investigating, no formal
yeah, I was going to say,
statement.
it's still a claim, but Sony's not going to say whether they have or haven't until they
Yeah.
absolutely fucking have to, essentially.
And if they have been hacked, they legally have to say.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And you're also going to by law, at least in the US, you will get a thing that states like, hey, like we're giving you a year's worth of, you know, whatever.
What was that just passed recently that these companies now have to?
It was data breaches. Yeah,
data breaches.
They have to announce within
time, like 24 hours now, right?
No,
it's within a month.
So
yeah.
I thought it.
They have to
from 30 days.
No, so they have to. No, it used to be like a year or like 6 months, and then it's now 30 days. But they have to at least acknowledge that there could potentially have been a breach and investigate it within 24 hours of the claim being made. So that's what spurred Sony to then in turn kind of launch this investigation.
Because if Sony didn't have to do that, they probably wouldn't have fucking.
Right.
Let's be real. They probably would have just been like, yeah, whatever.
So
there's a lot of different caveats to this story, though, because while this ransom.vc group is claiming that they hacked a bunch of stuff, there's other, like, what are they, white cap hackers that are saying that this stuff that they're claiming is stolen, like recent stolen data. They're claiming like 3.14 gigabytes of data was taken out of Sony archives, that this was back from the 2011 hack, and that the only thing that looks new is about 2 megabytes of data at most. Again, this is all speculation from other hackers that have looked into it, have seen what has been hacked from Sony before, and they're not seeing a ton, if any, new hacked info.
I think they're saying it's like a total of like 6,000 files, which if you're comparable to what is out there, that's minuscule. Like, it's tiny.
Yeah. And it also depends on where those files came from. They could be completely fucking useless.
Weren't these guys asking for something?
Yes, it's a ransomware attack is what they were trying to.
Yeah, they were.
Like, it's just
it didn't come out though. As how much they asked for, did it?
I
thought it was in like the million. Obviously, I think it was
No, I
wasn't
don't think I think the last time that Sony got hit with this, it was a huge one, but I don't think they've released any information about how much they've asked for. Honestly, it's gonna really dictate about if it is real for one, two,
right.
what files have been breached, because obviously if it's just like some documents, like some legalese documents, they're not going to be able to do anything about it. Sony will
Well,
just tell them to screw off. But if it's like account data and like personal data, then that's going
that's
to be a
big. Yeah.
huge ransom. Yeah.
I do have an update for this. As of today, they did not release the data, and that's what they were supposed to. They said ransomware or ransom.vc threatened to post the data on September 28th if no buyer is found beforehand. And
Reaching
nothing came
the
out.
end of.
So,
Yeah.
Well, that either means that they don't have anything or a buyer was found. So
I guess true.
Yeah.
So,
But again, it even mean if it's even real or not.
what if
Is
right.
the biggest thing. The gray cap hacker basically said ransomed VP or VC are scammers who are just trying to scam you and chase influence. Enjoy the leak.
what
That
if
wouldn't surprise me.
Microsoft
Yeah.
was the one that bought it from ransom?
I mean,
Maybe,
oddly
man.
enough,
That
and
would
I
be
don't know if we
huge.
won. Like, it's funny. The gray cap hacker in question goes by the name Major Nelson, so I thought that was kind of fun.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh. Yo,
all comes full circle.
it all makes sense. Yeah.
Well, talk about full circle, and when you're talking about a circle, it starts at one point and then it ends at another point, right?
I
like
thought it
the
ended at the same
transition.
point. That's how a circle
Sti-
works in.
Yeah, right.
That's-
But
yeah, I was
what I'm
gonna say
saying,
that's usually how
but what I'm
circles
saying,
work. but-
look, if you're on a trip, you start at one point. If you're on a circle, you're going to end at the
Sid,
same point. I'm just saying,
Sid,
it doesn't
Sid,
connect.
The
It doesn't
better
connect.
the
Look,
better
look,
transition
look,
would have
look,
been
look,
there's a
look,
circle on the
look, it
PlayStation
doesn't-
controller. Speaking of circles,
It doesn't connect. See, look, my fingers aren't connected. It's a slight gap, but it's still a circle.
Oh my god.
Jim Ryan has ended his circle with with PlayStation. Well, not
Jesus.
yet. It will come to an end here in the March 2024. I'm happy, man. We have said this for a long time, but Jimmy Boy needs to ride off into the sunset and go away. Like he just
I was shocked, honestly. I was a
Yeah, it
little
came
I
out of
was a little
nowhere.
shocked about it because they literally came out of nowhere. And from what we've been talking about Jim and the FTC leaks and everything like that. We've been saying for a long time that like Jim needs to
go.
just step back. He just needs to stop with whatever this FTC bullshit is. Stop talking. Just go back to being the quiet CEO in the corner because like and anytime he opens his mouth, it's been just stupidity just vomiting out.
It's been
It's-
weird stuff, man. But
Especially
apparently
what he
I
was
didn't
saying
realize
recently about comparing what was it, Game Pass and
and
PlayStation Plus. Oh,
yeah.
well that and Bungie and
Just shush,
fucking and
shush,
Activision, bro. Go away.
just sit down.
Yeah.
Just go away.
I
It's-
heard as well that he was on call with Sin trying to explain the circle on the controller a little
Listen,
bit, and it just didn't work. You know, they couldn't get it.
Yeah,
And
couldn't make
It
that
didn't
happen.
come full circle. It didn't come
amazing
full
Jim
circle
Ryan
with either of them.
voice. Can I just say, first off, I'm not Jim Ryan. Does he not look like a bad guy on CSI? Like when I see him, I immediately go, dude, that's like the murderer in CSI. Like that's
I
the
could see
dude
it.
that like
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I see him, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like you look like you're just in pain, just in so much pain. Like I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
but
It's interesting. I didn't realize he had been with PlayStation for 30 years. I know he'd only
Long
taken
time,
on
dude.
he'd
Yeah.
only taken on the CEO ship at 2019, so he's only been it for
2019, yeah.
five years.
Which
I think he's been around since
honestly,
PlayStation 1.
I was shocked
Yeah.
he was only CEO since 2019. I don't know why. It just felt like it was longer. Maybe just because his run was very stirred up a
Very
lot of
vocal.
commotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a weird time, man. But
hey, you know what you can say though is the pre-patch podcast outlived Jim Ryan's run as CEO.
we
did.
have.
Yeah,
We
have.
did indeed.
Yeah,
And honestly, we kind of called it like months
Oh,
ago that this was if things continued the track record that they were going, that this was probably
wasn't
going to
hard.
be the end goal.
It wasn't hard to see, especially when the FTC
Barely for
stuff
Jim it
started
was.
to
They were
lose.
urging him to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the official story on the case is that he's just retiring.
I did see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is
He's retiring because he's tired of the travel. I think was the
yeah,
reason that
because
they
he
gave.
lives in the UK, and
Yeah.
most of the Sony offices are in the US. So,
Which, you know,
so the back and
I mean,
forth
I'm
was
giving
a lot.
I'm giving him a benefit of doubt. Like, I'm sure that is tough. Like, that would be
oh,
tough.
fuck off, bro. More CEOs
Hey,
and fucking
hey,
owners have done this
hey.
for the entire. You don't
I'm
take
just
on.
saying.
No, fuck that. That is a fucking cop out. Jimmy boy, you opened your mouth,
No, I
inserted your
agree with
foot,
you.
and got the shit kicked out of you. And guess what?
I agree with you completely,
got
but
fired.
Coming from somebody that has done traveling for work in the past,
Bro, I
like
traveled for
spending
fucking
weeks,
13 years. I don't want to
spending
hear about
spending weeks
but
over there.
you're
It
not
is
a
rough.
CEO that has his own private jet.
That's true.
This is bullshit, bro. Don't give Jim Ryan an inch because he'll take a full circle, bro. Get out of here with that shit.
That would have been a better transition.
That would have been a much better. That would have been a much better one.
But so that's the
Lord.
official story on the street from his mouth, is that he's just retiring. I would say this was a pushed retirement. If that's the story they want to go with,
Yeah.
this was a retirement due to pressure on the back end.
This was
what
this was
the tipping
this
point.
was you fucked up with the FTC. You fucked up. You continue to fuck up with more comments even after that when you should just shut the
Because
fuck
the
up.
most recent thing we heard from him was the PS Plus.
It was the PS Plus versus
Pass.
He just
Xbox
doesn't
Game
shut
Pass.
his
Yeah.
mouth. He just doesn't.
Yeah,
it's weird, man. It's
maybe
weird.
he'll go to.
I would
maybe
like
he'll go
to
to
know what
kick.
the tipping point was.
Oh God.
I would like to know what the tipping point was, and I also am curious that if he is being like pushed out, does Sony have a game plan to win back some of their followers that might have fallen off from the PlayStation Plus price increase, from the lack of first party titles, from the PlayStation Portal being fucking a joke? Like,
Bro,
can they use
like,
this as a scapegoat opportunity to
I bet
kind of
they're
upright
planning on
themselves
it.
a little bit?
Can
It
we
was
can
all
we just
Jimmy
can we just
Rye.
say
Yeah.
can we just say that, like, I think the biggest the quickest way that they could get people back is just to be like, yeah, we fucked up on the PlayStation Portal. It's now going to be an actual handheld device, not just a port, not just like a streaming device. Like
That
that
or
would
bundle it
win
in.
back.
Yeah.
That would win back so many people, dude.
I think you might be onto something there, Sin. I think bundling the PlayStation Portal with whatever
Yeah.
the mid-generation PlayStation is
Yeah.
would be an excellent move.
Yeah.
I also think that they need to do something with PlayStation Plus, whether it is repeal the price increase, which I don't think that's going to be the option.
I don't think that'll
But
happen. Yeah.
I do see a world where they are potentially tossing around the idea of Sony first party titles being day one on PlayStation Plus,
I
like
mean,
on
it's-
one of the upper tiers.
Bro, make
It makes
The
sense.
only thing that
to
makes sense
PC.
for them, because it was a 33.3% price increase across the board for
Yeah.
the 12-month
Yeah.
subscription. Like the base model, like the 1 month and 3 month didn't change. But why would you shit on your most loyal fan base that wants to pay for it for a year? Like,
Because they know that they can.
Because look at this.
So-
look at this face. Look at this. How could you
so we
just
will
say no to
see.
this?
I'm very
I could say
hopeful
no
that
very
for
fast.
one, they bring the first party titles to PlayStation Plus, and for two, they actually have a decent lineup for 2024, because this year's lineup has been as bad as Xbox's was last year.
It's all cyclical,
Yeah.
man. It's all circular. It all happens. It's like,
Enough
So
with the
it's
circles.
big
It's-
circles, man.
it's
Just
over.
consecutive circles,
Ah.
man.
dude, honestly, look, we'll do it, guys. We listen, Sony. I mean, we've already we predicted this, right? We predicted the hack. We predicted the Xbox stuff. Like, look, we're good at what we do. Just you give us the
We
role.
kind of are.
We'll
We're kind
split
of
it.
impressive.
We'll split the CEO role into 4, right? We will honestly take half of what Jim Ryan gets paid. I'm sure we will all live happily on that and whatnot. Enigma can't travel; he's got a broken back, but the rest of us will do okay.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll just be the states.
I'll take the
I'll be over here.
private jet. I'll take that.
So, and we can just make the decisions. Look, the very first thing that we do, the PP with the PS5 is going to PC. It's going to be the
Dude.
PP, PS5, PC. That's what we're doing.
The PSPP, the PSPP,
The P, all the Ps. We're just shoving the PPs all over the
the
place.
PPP, SPPP.
PP portal.
Oh,
Portal PP.
man.
Thanks all for tuning in to the Patch Notes. And if you enjoyed and want to see more, you can catch us live every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern or catch us after the fact at anchor.fm/prepatch podcast. See you next time.